area of ABFM. Okay, everyone, we are starting with another chapter. This is actually the second last chapter in the particular area. This is called Green and Sustainable Financing. Acha, in this case, it says that there is no point where you are looking forward towards businesses where it is ultimately affecting the government altogether. It is affecting the economy altogether. It is affecting the biodiversity as well as the overall ecosystem. Basically, your businesses should grow in certain way where you are making profits without damaging any further of the ecosystem in the world. So this is where you have green and sustainable financing. That means you will get money so that you can open up a business, which we can say a green business. है ना? The business which is going to support the green area, or you can say the environment altogether. Based upon this, here comes the first question. Overall, is the ISOs important? Indeed, very important. ISOs were also asked in the previous year questions, everyone. So this is an important question to know about the various ISOs. Overall, 4 to 5 ISOs are covered in this particular chapter. You should be knowing their names and the particular details covered in those areas properly, because that is very, very important for the examination, everyone. ISO 14001 is an extremely dangerous greenhouse gas, a European Union law on the reduction of pollution, a water quality regulation established by the Environment Act, or an international standard that specifies auditing best practices for organizations' environmental management systems and policies. What's the correct answer, everyone? ISO 14001. Acha, everyone, if you like this particular sessions now, please go ahead and review the entire playlist. In this, I covered the entire syllabus. Not even a single chapter is left. Currently, we are at the second last chapter. We are just left with last chapter, SPAC. And pata hai, surprising, that chapter came out for the maximum number of marks in the examination last time. So whenever you look at any of the chapters, don't underestimate any chapter there. They have started playing with the specific amounts a lot in the past few years. वैसे तो things have just started escalating very fast in the last year as they introduced an entire new subject ना. So everyone, what's the answer to this? What's the correct answer? An extremely dangerous greenhouse, a European Union law? No. It is an international standard that specifies auditing best practices for organization environment management system. In this case, the correct answer is D, everyone. ठीक है? Here comes the next question. Greenwash is a company's attempt to improve its environmental image as a means of promoting itself and its products and gaining customers without necessarily having any genuine substance to back up its claims. Greenwashing is thus a necessary economic activity that should be supported if conducted positively and responsibly, a prohibited action that is unpleasant, a sort of advertising that is ignorable, a practice employed by multinational companies in order to avoid the taxes. What's going to be the answer? See, sometimes they have to, all the organizations have to do one specific point, which is that they have to improve themselves in the market. And you just cannot improve yourself by telling that we are here for profit. Other than profit, there is nothing that I need. It sounds so selfish, while it is practical. है ना? Just a moment, please. So when we talk about this entire area, we have greenwashing is basically a necessary economic activity. You're gonna tell people कि नहीं नहीं, we are doing work for the business, we are working for the entire world, है ना? So in this case, it is something which is very necessary. ठीक है. So it is basically a necessary economic activity that should be supported if it is conducted properly as well as positively. मतलब you have to tell people now that sir, our organization is working for the world. That is what you will tell to the world, and that is how you can improve your environmental position. And slowly and steadily many companies have actually started doing this as well, if you're taking positively and responsibly. The point is, you cannot remain that selfish company which is again just working for themselves. You're just going to tell people that nahi, we are getting into the tree plantation drives, we are looking forward to developing more ecosystems, we have bought land which was a barren land, we convert it into forest. All those things they have to tell people that yes, we are also eco-friendly companies. Okay, which of the following is not a renewable source of energy? A very, very basic question from the IBF book itself. Okay, renewable matlab which cannot be renewed. In this case, not a renewable source matlab it cannot be renewed very easily. Renewal of everything is there, but over a very strong and long period of time. For example, fuel is also renewable, but for that a lot of fossils have to be there in the particular depth of the earth, and they have to be compressed to that extent with the specific time that it takes. Matlab, it is happening, all these things are happening, but it takes a lot and lot of years, you know. So the ones which are renewable means it just flows into the air, and this specific form of energy is easily available, and is available in a continuous nature. Waves, wind, solar, or coal. In this case, you can see waves are made every single day because there's water and there is air involved. Wind is also something that is renewable. It just goes on and on forever. You don't really consume it and it will end. Solar, same thing. You don't use solar energy or the sun and then it will be consumed forever. No. Thus is coal. Coal is limited in nature, because it comes from the fossils that were trapped inside the debris when the earth was being made in a different manner. They Over the period of time, with the disasters happening, they just got down and down deeper into the earth, and that's how the coal came, right? That is coal. Okay, which was the first Indian bank to issue green infrastructure bonds in India? SBI, Bank of Baroda, and then we have HDFC or Yes Bank. Which bank is it, everyone? According to you, which bank would have done this? Is this specific chapter important? Yeah, it is. Because those days are gone where we could actually relax and say, nahi, nahi, only a few chapters are super important. The rest you can leave for the examination. Now they have started asking questions from each and every nook and corner of the book, which is definitely a little dangerous for all the people who say that we are not able to cover the entire syllabus altogether. So that is one particular point which is definitely a little challenging. Okay. The bank which had done this is Yes Bank, everyone. Okay? The correct answer is Yes Bank. Green bonds are fixed income instruments whose proceeds finance new or existing green initiatives that qualify. Which of the following activities is not covered by the green bonds objectives? Efforts to combat air pollution, then we have climate alteration, changes to the demography or extinction of species, and depletion of natural resources. Okay? Green bonds, everyone? What do you mean by the term green bonds? See, bonds is basically the way of raising money, when we talk about bonds is nothing but a method of raising money altogether. But how do you raise money, everyone? There can be multiple ways through which we are raising money. In this case, it is related to the era of it is not covered. It is covering air pollution. We are worried about climate alterations as well. And at the same time, this depletion of the natural resources as well. These things are definitely there. What is not there is changes in the demography. Demography change has nothing to do with it. Demography means the number of old people and as well as the young people is changing. There are more youth, and then all those things are just not covered here. That is not something which is related to the environment. It is something we just decided that this is going to happen this way, right? Okay, so that's it. Let's move on to the next pointer. This is changes in the demography is the correct answer. Everybody, if you like this particular session, please go ahead and like the session as well. Okay, just a moment. What percentage of surveyed banks had not assigned responsibility for overseeing initiatives related to the climate risk and sustainability at the board level? About 10%, about 25, about 33, or 50? Not all the banks would have done that, of course. There were certain banks which were a little laid back in this, and there had been banks which were proactive in this. So in this case, normally the in terms of surveyed banks, acha, the most important question is, nobody asked about this, but you should definitely ask, ma'am, are these different kind of data based questions very important? Probably, if you would have asked me in the past, I would have said no, no, these kind of questions don't really come. But in the last two attempts, one particular thing that has definitely changed in the IIBF examinations patterns overall, not about ABFM, because ABFM is absolutely new. One particular thing that they've started doing is they are putting data-based questions from the book itself, and we feel ki pata nahi from where are they putting all these questions. I think this is from out of the syllabus. They're taking the questions, read between the lines, and then they are putting up in front of us. When you find a data-based question, what is it that you need to do? Do you need to go through the entire data of the book? Practically impossible. I cannot learn the entire book myself, so why should I tell you ki nahi nahi, learn each and every word by word data? How would you remember something happened in 2022 when we are in 2024 and you have four subjects plus an optional as well? Practically, this is just not possible. So in terms of database questions, learn a few and then rest take the guess in the examination. Because learning all, putting yourself under a lot of pressure is just not worth it. So in this case, the correct answer is 33%. Just learn all these basic wale questions, na MCQs and all that we are providing you. That is what you can do. Itna to hum kar hi sakte hain, they're easy, right? You should not be going through a lot, but yeah, you can go through a few. Done? Okay, so let's move on to the next question. About 33%. Which of the following is not recommended action for the banks to improve board level engagements on climate risk and sustainability? Again, climate risk and sustainability is a very important area. How do they look forward to it? Assigning the responsibility for overseeing the initiatives related to climate risk and sustainability to the board, incorporating climate risk and sustainability KPIs into the performance evaluation of top management, establishing a separate business unit for sustainability and ESG related initiatives, and aligning final financial disclosures with internationally accepted frameworks. What's going to be the answer, everyone? What's going to be the answer? Okay, so the correct answer to this question is actually establishing a separate unit in terms of this. They have started making a specific unit which is specifically for this area. Okay? Then they're looking forward towards sustainability and ESG related initiatives. Okay, moving on. What is one of the strategies suggested for the banks to transition to low carbon exposure? Increasing exposure to high carbon emitting businesses, or scaling down sustainable finance portfolios, or mobilizing capital for green lending and investments. And then the last point is decreasing exposure to renewable energy projects. Um, See, you have to look forward towards the particular businesses which are really one of the strategies which is suggested. If you are looking forward towards to transition to low carbon exposure, you want those businesses to grow. You will definitely help these kind of organizations which are coming up with green financing ideas. कि नहीं नहीं, we want to set up a solar plant. We're looking forward towards wind energy based plants. We are looking forward towards a business where we are against using plastic altogether. You're looking forward towards the scenarios. Now, if we I put on to high carbon emitting businesses, then what's the fun? How can we say that we are supporting the green businesses? How can we say that we are looking forward towards exposure to renewable energy projects? We are just not looking to any of these things. We're just sitting down and saying ki हाँ, economy should be better. Anji, I think the environment has to be better. You're not doing anything in that case. You have to mobilize the particular funds. Easy question, just the wordings are a little trickier. The answer is C. Okay, next question. What action could banks take to decrease absolute carbon emission from their operations? What's going to be the answer, everyone? What's going to be the answer? Increase the use of fossil fuels, decrease the investment in renewable energy, implement the energy efficiency measures, or ignore climatic risks. This particular area is very easy to answer. It is implementing energy efficiency measures. We're looking forward towards all those measures in which we're at least able to get a better money prospect. You have to implement the energy efficiency measures. What was the focus of the stock take report published by the Basel Committee in 2020? These are again important questions. Read between the lines, crazy questions. Overall, if you do not know the answer, then ultimately you should go ahead and guess it up in the examination as well. Because practically it is not sound that we look forward towards the examination in certain way, that we are not being ready for these kind of questions. As I told you, I won't say there are a lot of questions being asked from this specific area, but they can ask from this area. And this is from the book itself, everyone. This is not from outside area. So that means you are getting such questions in the examination already. Right? So analyzing the reports, this is global financial trends, assessing climate related financial risks, reviewing banking regulations, and examining supervisory practices. What's the correct answer? The correct answer is actually assessing the climate related financial risks. Okay, we're looking forward to assessment of these climate based related risks. They were looking forward towards the financial risks related to the climate changes that are happening in the world. What was the purpose of the guide published in the Central Banks and Supervisors Network for Greening the Financial System in May 2020, everyone? Providing investment advice, integrating climate change into potential supervision, analyzing the economic indicators, and developing financial regulations. What's going to be the answer? Hello everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia Bhatnagar and I am with you with the area of CAIIB. Okay everyone, what are we dealing with? We are ending with our CAIIB series. That is, we are working upon green and sustainable financing right now. When we talk about green and sustainable financing, we have talked about what is basically the green and sustainable financing. See, I have a business and I want to grow further. I said that I want to grow further. But then I don't want to hurt the environment anymore. I want finances, which can be equity or it can be debt. But I don't want to hamper the world anymore in terms of the economy, in terms of the environmental problems. I just don't want to be another person who's contributing towards it. So what did I do? I decided to set up a particular wind energy power plant. Matlab, one particular thing that I'd be doing is I'm converting renewable energy into electricity. Plus, I am not contributing at all towards the area of pollution. I'm just utilizing one energy and turning into another. Now, at the same time, now I need funds for that as well. This kind of organizations where we are looking forward towards businesses which are green in nature, and you get money for that. That is called green financing. And when you ask for the bonds, which are, see, you can even either have equity or you can either have debt. You know, you can have only one of these. So it can be either equity or either it can be debt. So if you have a debt, you can call it the green bonds. ठीक है ना? So green bonds have higher interest rates. Green bonds are issued exclusively by private actors, or proceeds from the green bonds finance environmentally beneficial projects, or green bonds have shorter maturity periods. You don't talk about the maturity periods. You don't really say that the green bonds will have higher interest rates. They are basically the projects which are, as I just said, the proceeds from these bonds finance environmentally beneficial projects. The projects that we are looking forward to, they're highly beneficial to the world. And that is the basic reason that we look forward towards these projects. Right? Okay, done with this question. Next question. Which principle coordinates the development of the green bond principles, that is GBP, everyone, the green bond principles and the climate bonds standard? Acha, climate bonds are what bonds? The bonds which are formed in order to have a better we're trying to control the climate change by reducing the carbon content in the world that we are spreading on, recycling of the particular plastics, then the other goods as well, the material which can be recycled, paper can be recycled, all those recycling would be done. And at the same time, when we talk about okay, there can be glass recycling as well. Germany does that. You get paid for every single glass bottle that you are putting in, you know. And at the same time, this is not only the point that we're talking about. Climate bonds are also looking forward towards afforestation in your own country, right? So the bonds which are basically taken up by the government itself, so that they can work upon the at least mitigation of the climatic controls, the damage that is happening every single day, right? So this is what they will be looking forward to. That's how you can define the climate bond stand, climate bonds. So now we're talking about green bonds principles as well as the climate bonds. Is it given by IMF, in International Monetary Fund, or ICMA, that is International Capital Market Association, or the World Bank, or United Nations Environment Program? The one who takes care of the GBP and the climate bonds is ICMA, International Capital Market Association. The bonds, the specific green bonds, right? Green bonds and climate bonds, these are all handled, their principles, their standards, they are maintained by ICMA. Then everyone, that's what we talk about ICMA. Okay, which type of the bond considers the issuing organizational overall creditworthiness, not just the financed asset, when determining repayment? Okay, organizational guaranteed bonds, asset-backed bonds, hybrid bonds, or convertible bonds. The bonds which have which the issuing organization's overall creditworthiness. When it talks about the organization's overall creditworthiness, means whether they are able to pay back or not. ठीक है? That would be called organization guaranteed bonds. The answer is A, everyone. In asset-backed bonds, what entity holds the asset that generates revenue for bond repayment? International Capital Market Association, then special purpose entity or special purpose vehicle, or the Climate Bond Initiative, or the Central Bank and Supervisor Network for Greening the Financial System, or NGFS. What's the answer, everyone? In asset-backed bonds, the bonds which we find that this is in case you're not able to pay, then that goes away with the particular asset. Matlab you were supposed to pay it, so if you're not able to pay it, then this is what you will be looking forward to. Okay? Okay, asset-backed bonds. See, this is what we can say. The correct answer is special purpose vehicle. The special purpose vehicle takes care of the asset liability management or ALM of a particular asset, and the backup of the bond is in case they are not able to take care of the bonds, then the asset would be sold and the amount would be recovered. Right? Okay, before I proceed further, everyone, please go ahead and like this particular session and also share this particular session among your peers as well. Okay, let's move on towards the next question. The correct answer is special purpose vehicle. Which country in the Asia Pacific region, we're talking about which country of Asia Pacific region issued the largest amount of green bonds in 2021 according to the provided statistics? मतलब in terms of our book, what is the particular area? ठीक है ना? India, Japan, China, Australia. Now the question again arises, ma'am, are these kind of questions something that we can expect? Of course, you can expect these kind of questions in your examination. So these are given by China. Okay, the maximum was China. As per 2021, basically our book has been prepared on the data which was maximum. Macmillan book was prepared till 2022 statistics, because it was introduced in 2023 January na. So that is the particular era where the statistics has been that. So in your books, wherever you find it, you will find the data of 21 22 only, not 23 onwards. At least in the previous editions it was like that. Let's see in the new editions, if they bring something else, then I'll be updating the same. Okay, what are green masala bonds? Matlab, this reminds me of an Indian thing. Huh? So what is it about? Bonds issued by Indian corporations denominated in local currency. Bonds issued by Indian corporation outside of India. Bonds issued by foreign corporations in India. Or bonds used exclusively for energy products. What's going to be the answer, everyone? Green masala bonds. It's a very interesting name. Okay, again the point is that these are something which is Indian. Again, the term masala really says that. These are basically the bonds which are issued by the Indian corporations but outside of India. Okay, to raise their money for the green financing, of course. Right? So that is what we call as green masala bonds. Interesting name for sure. A very interesting terminology. Bonds issued by Indian corporations outside of India. Okay, what is the purpose of GBP, everyone? Established by the International Capital Market Association. We have just studied that GBP has been given by ICMA. Everybody, go ahead and answer. To increase the profitability of the bonds, or to decrease the transparency in the area of a green bond market, to promote investment that address climatic change, or to regulate the issuance of the traditional bonds. Everybody, what's going to be the answer? Basically, whenever we are looking for the finances, what's going to be the answer? Chali, let's look at the particular answer itself. When we talk about the GBP green bond principles, it is basically done to see green bond principles and the climate bonds. They were actually buddies, na? We just saw their names together to promote investments that address climatic change is the point. The answer is actually C. To promote investments that address the climate change. Done? According to the GBP, what is one of the essential components of the framework for issuing green bonds? Maximizing the profit for issuers, selecting projects without evaluating environmental risks, or managing the proceeds in a separate account, or risk providing opaque reports to the lenders. What's going to be the answer, everyone? We are talking about the GBP itself, huh? See, when we talk about the GBP, see, the basic purpose of having GBP instead of the normal bonds is different, right? We're not some normal organization which is just talking about, okay, I need bonds, we have a project we are working upon. You're clearly saying I am a very different kind of organization, an organization which is working towards the um working towards the growth of an organization in a very different manner. They say what different manner? When we talk about the green bond principles, or when we talk about the climate bonds, or any of these sorts, this is basically you are raising funds for your business venture, which is different from others. You know, so in this case, the working, if you said that you are working for the environment, can you just mix it up with your regular money? If you are doing that, then you will be liable in terms of your audits that you are not working as per the requirement. You know, so maximizing the profits for issuers, it cannot be the point, because these are points which are there in every profit making organization. Selecting projects without evaluating the environmental risks, this is just not possible. You just cannot put your money in a particular ditch which is very deep and you don't even know what's there inside. It's just not possible, right? A particular rational businessman will never put money into this. Providing opaque reports to the lenders, try that. They will not give you a single penny in future if you gave it once. Banks don't provide us money if we're not providing them enough convincing part, ki, sir, your money is safe with us. That particular part is, if not there, the banks will not provide us money at all. So technically, this is also wrong. Managing the proceeds in a separate account is correct. The C is managing proceeds in a separate account. What is one significant advantage of the green bond market in providing the financing for environmentally friendly projects? It exclusively targets retail investors. It relies solely on traditional sources of debt financing. It leverages a wider investor base, or including the institutional investors, or it restricts the funding to small scale projects only. What's going to be the answer, everyone? One significant advantage. See, definitely this is a particular area which talks about being environment friendly. So technically, you are way better than the other markets. You know? So this particular area is getting money from those people who are already interested in the investment, isn't it? They are interested in investments, but what else they are looking forward to? It exclusively targets the retail investors? Nope. Retail investors are not their points. It relies solely on traditional sources of the debt financing sources which they are using is very new. They are saying, I'm not a normal or regular company that you can see here and there. I'm a bigger company which is talking about society. This is also wrong. है Then it leverages a wider investor base, including institutional investors. This part can be true because they are reaching the market. They are reaching out to the people who, so according to them, if they work upon them, this would be a better situation. It restricts the funding to small scale projects only. No, it doesn't do that. They are not restricted only to small scale. They are helping all the businesses which are here and not trying to damage the environment at all. So in this case, the correct answer is it leverages a wider base of investors. So correct answer is C, everyone. Done. What does the issuance of green bond contribute to improving the issuer's reputations? By reducing transparency regarding environmental strategy, by limiting the disclosure of principles proceeds raised, or by demonstrating dedication to enhancing the environmental sustainability, or by avoiding the need for environmental risk processes, everyone. What's going to be the answer according to this? Everybody, what's going to be the answer? By reducing the transparency, you cannot do that. By doing this, you won't even get a future. In a future, you won't get even a single penny because you lose credibility in the market. That's a hardcore reality. By limiting the disclosure of proceeds raised, nahi. this case you will not be able to expand further. This is how you can go for elimination method, everyone. Sometimes these points have really something that you cannot trace it down कि अच्छा पक्का this is the answer, but you can eliminate the points na, by demonstrating dedication to enhancing environmental. You can definitely ask people, you can actually convince people. This is what we did in the last class as well, everyone. I think the Saturday's class itself we talked about this. When I'm looking forward towards my business, I'm looking forward towards growth. One particular reality is I have to make the other person trust me enough ki nahi, nahi, what I'm working towards the business only. I'm not trying to look forward towards. If I said that I'm working on the green financing, then I must be working on the same. That is how he will trust me in future as well and help me out with further green projects as well. So for that, this is what I need to really have, है ना? Avoiding the need for the environment, right? Chaliye, moving on to the next pointer. The answer is this. Then, what does book building refer to in context with the green bonds? Constructing physical structure of the environmental projects, capturing investor demand for bond issue, developing environmental risk management policies, or sustaining demand for green bond investments. What's going to be the answer, everyone? What does book building refer to in context with the green bonds? Book building, see, the point is that if I ask you that, sir, where's your money? Where are you putting that money? You'll be asking me, who are you? I'll say, sir, I am the one who has given you money. So I would like to know, I would like to be ensured ki hanji, the money that I've given you, you are using it properly. Huh? That particular trust you have to show me, isn't it? So in this case, one particular thing that you have to do is constructing a physical structure of environment projects. No, you don't have to look forward towards the physical structure. Book building doesn't mean physical structure. If randomly someone asks me, ma'am, how many classes you take in a day, my book building is in the particular log in log out areas. My classes are visible online. That is where I can prove myself, you know. So this part of the physical classes and everything, physical presence is not required everywhere, but the specific classes should be going on. Capturing investor demand for the bond issue, you are not looking forward to this as well. Developing the environmental risk in management policies, um, you're not looking forward to this as well. But I think that you can look forward to this point, that book building. Randomly you ask him how many classes you take in a day. I said this is my specific timetable, this is the particular classes I'm taking. Along with this, these are the notes I'm currently working upon. I told you about that part as well. You might be looking impressed in for certain areas कि अच्छा, she's actually working upon these things on a daily basis, and these are the ones where we can ask them to work upon, है ना? If you are the one who is investing in my business. So in this case, that part is definitely there. The book that I'm creating, that can be showcased in front of you, that pata hai, this is how I work, right? Sustaining the demand in the area of the green bonds. Nope. In this case, the right answer is actually B itself. Capturing investors' demand for the bond issue. You really have to show these things to them. Isn't it? Only then someone is convinced enough ki nahi, nahi, this person is good, huh? Then how does the maturity mismatch issue in the traditional banking affect long-term green financing? It increases the availability of long-term loans for environmental projects. It reduces the need for long-term financing. It limits banks' ability to provide long-term loans, green loans, or enhances the stability for long-term investments. What's going to be the answer, everyone? The correct answer is it limits the bank's ability to provide long-term green financing loans. Okay? If there's a mismatch. Done? Done, everybody? Okay, then let's move on. The answer is it limits the bank's ability. Next pointer, what is a significant advantage of the green bond in providing the financing for environmental friendly projects? It exclusively targets, अच्छा ये तो हमने कर लिया. The correct answer was it leverages a wide investor base including institutional investors. We are having a good investor base. This is what people will feel good about, ना? है ना? Today we are doing the last chapter of the module D. I've covered all the previous chapters in this particular series. Not even a single chapter has been left, everyone. So please make sure you're going through all the specific chapters individually, chapter by chapter, and moving to the last one then. I've covered every chapter not only from the point of view of the IRBF book, but also from read between the lines of the book itself. So that means it would be good enough for you for your preparation if you have done your revision once at least. Right? First of all, share this particular session among your peers because it is very, very important to share it among all those people who are preparing for this examination, right? Okay, so let's begin with the session, everyone. What does SPAC stand for? What is SPAC? Bata? That's why I didn't write the particular thing because the first question was related to this. SPACs are special companies. See, these are actually a company. Okay, the first point says special purpose acquisition company, securities portfolio assessment commission, strategic partnership advisory committee, or specialized private asset consortium. It is a special purpose acquisition vehicle. Matlab, it's an organization which is purchased so that it is actually prepared so that if company A wants to buy company B, this is actually its competitor, but it cannot do it directly. So what will it do? It will create an SPAC which will acquire B. ठीक है? Once it will acquire B, then what will happen? This particular organization will get the control over B. Then the SPAC will transfer this entire acquisition shares to A, and then this will liquidate because the purpose of the creation of the special purpose acquisition company is done. Once it's done, then the purpose of creating it is materialized. Done? So what's going to be the answer according to you? So when we talk about the answer to this question, it is going to be special purpose acquisition company. है ना? The correct answer is SPAC. चलिए, next question everyone. How many SPACs initial public offerings took place? This is again a database question. Well, how many database questions are asked in the examination? Minimum database questions I expect at least 2 to 3 questions. है ना? Not more than that. The entire paper cannot be the same. So is it approximately 250, 500, 600 or 1000? Since you won't be having any idea, so this is what we do. The correct answer is approximately 600. Done? Next question. Who are the investors or the sponsors of behind SPAC? But obviously there are certain people who had been asked कि we wanted to create a company because of so and so reason. है ना? Now, investors with no experience in any specific industry, government agencies, investors with experience in specific industry or business sector, or venture capitalist. Government is not going to do that. If government really wants to acquire an organization, they can create a law against it. That's one of the strengths of these companies. Government agencies are not going to ask someone to buy the organizations. If they really want to buy an organization, they will do it themselves. Individuals with no experience or specific industry will never ask you to buy another company, because there must be a very strong reason to buy another company, है ना? Then what's going to be the answer? In this case, the one who already had an experience of this issue, na, that would be helpful, right? The answer should be C. Done? The correct answer is C. Next, what does PIPE, PIPE, stand for in context with SPAC mergers? What is PIPE, everyone? Is it private investment in a public equity, or public investment in a private equity, or private investment in a private equity, or public investment in a public equity? Basically, there's an organization where people said that nahi, I want to invest in this organization, but in a certain manner. Matlab, it's an organization which was open to all the public, and now you want that nahi, I want this much share in this organization, I'll provide you the money. So there is no reason for this to continue to be a public company. Or if it's a public company, they are giving a private placement to a certain shareholder because they want him to be a part of it. You know, just because they want him to be a part of it, they will definitely change the particular structure. It's basically a public investment in a private, it's actually a private investment in a public company. कहाँ गया? Where is it? The first one is the answer. That is private investment in a public equity. This means in this organization the public is investing. ठीक है ना? Sorry, private people are investing, and that's a public equity. What say? Done? Now move on. How does the possibility of raising additional capital differ from between SPAC mergers as well as IPOs? Hanji, SPAC merger do not allow for raising additional capital, or in IPOs involve raising debts or pipe funds in addition to initial capital, or both SPAC merger and IPO involve raising additional capital in the same manner. SPAC mergers involve raising debt and pipe additions of initial capital. What's going to be the answer? Basically, now SPAC mergers actually involves raising of some debt as well, because their basic purpose is to buy another company. They will do it in any other way, isn't it? So in this case, it can be debt, it can be, I'm sorry, it can be a debt or it can be equity. Whatever way, they can actually arrange the funds in order to buy the other organization. They will do everything. ठीक है ना? So in this case, the correct answer is D. SPAC mergers involve raising debt or pipe funding in addition to the initial capital. Done, everyone? Now let's move on to the next question. What is that one advantage of negotiating the price with SPAC before finalizing the transaction? It leads to a lower valuation? Nope. It allows for more control in an unstable market. It increases the likelihood of successful IPO, or it decreases the speed of execution. See, if you're looking forward towards negotiations, so what is happening? If you're looking forward towards negotiations, that means you're open up to the area of having the word with another organization and opening it up towards the area of learnings, isn't it? We are fine. We would look forward towards a better deal. If you're looking forward towards a better deal, then it's not lower valuation. You know? Nope. It is not something related to IPO as well. The negotiations have nothing to do with it. You generate IPO to build up an SPAC. So in this case, it is basically it allows more control in the unstable market, because you are having a word with them and making it more stable. At least you are trying for that. Okay, according to the Goldman Sachs strategies, how did the median SPAC perform relative to the Russell 3000 index in the 6 months after the closing of the deal? Outperformed by 42 percentage points, 20, then underperformed by 42 or 20%. So Goldman Sachs is again a specific database question. This is a specific strategist, and then they have talked about after the closing of the deals, what happened, right? When you talk about SPACs, they're not really working. One point, they're just created for buying another organization. So in this case, it actually underperformed. Excuse me, by 42 percentage points. ठीक है? Okay, next question. What has led to drop of a new SPAC fillings in the second quarter of 2021 compared to the first quarter? Is it decreased regulatory oversight? Or the next point is poor market performance, increased disclosure, or lack of investor? What's going to be the answer, everyone? What's going to be the answer according to you? when we talk about the what has led to the drop in new SPSC filings. Earlier it was such a specific area where many people were going for it, but then it has dropped badly. And what is it that happened that way? The reason it happened that way was increased disclosure norms. Now, since you have to disclose a lot of things, you cannot say कि नहीं नहीं, we weren't really looking forward to it. This is not related to that specific area. ठीक है ना? This specific thing was definitely not included. It was there earlier, but now there's nothing of that sort anymore. Right? Okay, here comes the next question. What type of financial information uh, about the target company is typically included in a proxy statement of SPAC merger? Is it only pro forma financial statements, only historical financial statements, pro forma financial statements, historical financial statements, and management's discussion and analysis, MD&A, and only management discussion and analysis? We are looking forward towards the financial information about the target company. What is it they're looking forward to, everyone? See, when you're looking forward towards knowledge of the specific uh, company which you are targeting, what will you do in this case? Obviously, you will collect all the information which is required. That means their previous financial statements, their current financial statements. You want to know about everything, isn't it? The pro forma financial statements, historical financial statements, everything has to be noted. The answer is actually C. Done. So in this case, the correct answer is pro forma invoice, pro forma financial statements, historical financial statements, and management discussion and analysis. Done. Last question. What is the purpose of proxy statements filed by SPAC in a merger? To seek permission for regulators to provide shareholders with information about the proposed merger, to outline the terms of the merger agreement, or disclose the financial statements? The correct answer is B. To provide shareholders and with information about the proposed merger. Hello everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia Bhatnagar and I'm with you with the area of ABFM. We are ending our module D completely. This is the last chapter, that is Special Purpose Acquisition Company. What is Special Purpose Acquisition Company, everyone? I would say Special Purpose Acquisition Company or SPAC is one of the companies which are hired to take over some other organization. It's like a supari giving to someone, a mafia don telling a normal person going to a mafia don and saying that you have to kill that person. SPAC is a sophisticated form of it. You are asking a sharpshooter that this is the company which you have to target and give it back to me. But it shouldn't die, right? You just have to take over and give that company to me. That is Special Purpose Acquisition Company. This is called Special Purpose Acquisition Company. Done, everybody? Moving on to the first question for today. Everybody, what has led to the drop of new SPAC fillings in the second quarter of 2021 compared to the first quarter? What has been the point that SPAC had increased? Sorry, has decreased in this specific area? Yes, it is because of decreased regulatory oversight or poor market performance or increased disclosure norms or lack of investor interest. Basically, now In this case, what's going to happen? The reason was increased disclosure norm. When there is too much of a disclosure norms involved now, then the organizations are not able to build up an SPAC, because SPAC is built in such a way that there's no problem there, right? Done? Here comes the next question, everyone. What type of financial information about the target company is typically included in the proxy statement of SPAC? अच्छा, they create a proxy statement, है ना? And what are the particular financial information which is about the target company? Target company मतलब the company which they are trying to kill, है ना? Obviously, they are trying to kill a specific organization, right? Only the performer financial statements, or only the financial statements or performer financial statements are required, then historical statements are required, then the only the management discussion analysis is required. See, when you're trying to take over some other organization, you want to know in and out of it. Till the time you don't really know in and out of it, how will you slowly and steadily, and that too sheepishly, you have to pick up the entire organization? How would you do that part? You can do that part: pro forma financial statements, historical financial statements, and management discussions. All these things are required. When you're trying to find an organization about the target company, these things are definitely required. Acha everyone, if you like this particular session, first of all, please share this particular session and also like it. Done? Done? Okay, let's move on and look at the next question, everyone. What is the purpose of the proxy statement? Why do we create the proxy statement? To seek permission from the regulators to provide shareholders with information regarding the proposed merger and seek their approval, or to outline the terms of the merger agreement, or to disclose financial information about the acquiring company. Why would they do it, everyone? What's the basic purpose of doing this? The proxy statement filed by SPAC, that too in terms of merger. Basically, the SPAC is created so that the competing firm or a target firm can be engulfed by the stronger firm. And for that, SPAC, once it has completed its task, then even SPAC merges or it liquidates after handing over the particular details to the, or after handing the entire company's control to the main holding company, right? So the particular answer is, when they create a proxy statement, it is because to provide the shareholders with information about the proposed merger and seek their approval. Because you are investing money into some other organization. Na? Then everyone, in this case the correct answer is actually B. Okay? We are trying to provide the shareholders with information about the proposed merger. You are trying to tell people about the proposed merger, and you are trying to get approval of them. Only then you will issue the proxy statement. Done? Please like this particular session, everyone, and share it as well. What information, or what type of information does the proxy statement or proxy statement contain besides details of the merger? मतलब it contains all the details कि अच्छा one organization is merging with the other organization, all the basic stuff details. uh, Is it information about SPAC formation, information about SPAC performance, or information about governance aspects and financial information about the target company, or information about the shareholder voting rights? What's going to be the answer, everyone? What type of information does the proxy statement? Acha, we have done a similar question already. This provides information about the governance. Basically, when you're trying to take over an organization, you are trying to find out what happens in it. Information about the governance aspects and the financial aspects of the target company has to be known na, in which you are trying to acquire an organization. You have to acquire it slowly and steadily. है ना? So once you have accumulated the enough majority of shares, then you can reach out to the higher level, right? Next question. Okay, what happens to the funds in the trust account if the acquisition target cannot be found within the specific time frame? They have a time frame within which the SPAC has to buy the other organization. See, this is the main company. It had an interest in this company, but it cannot go directly. So it creates an SPAC and tells it, go and get this organization for me. There's a specific period through which they have to complete. If it is not completing, then see, SPAC doesn't have its own working or something. There's no specific operating of its own. So how will it sustain for a longer period? There's a time frame already defined based upon this particular situation. So they are used, whatever what happens to the funds or in the trust account if the acquisition target cannot be found. So whatever the organization has collected, where will it go? This is used to pay off the existing debts, to distribute back to the investors, they're invested in stock market, or they are used to pay the management and the team salaries. What's going to be the answer, everyone? See, normally na, if someone has given you money, acha, in this case, they had paid money to the sharpshooter to kill someone. As soon as the particular person went there, the sharpshooter thought, कि, "अरे, this is my own." So he came back, he gave the realities, and then he is standing in front of the organization. So the organization says, कि, ठीक है, in this case, what exactly is happening is the organization is prepared for a specific purpose. It is prepared on a very genuine purpose, that is to take over the other organization. If it is not able to acquire the other organization, then what will it do? There is only one thing that it can do, that is to return the money back to the people from whom they had taken the funds. है ना? They can do this part. In this case, the entire controversy comes to an end, isn't it? So they are distributed back to the investors. Done, everyone? How are the strike prices of warrants typically determined? So strike prices are basically the prices in terms of warrants. Warrants are basically what? Warrants are right to pay in future. ठीक है ना? मतलब right to give shares in future. अभी तो currently नहीं दिए. In the future we will. What's the answer? Based on the company's future earnings or set arbitrarily by SPAC's management team based on the share price at the time of IPO determined by the vote among the shareholders. How do you find out, everyone? What's the answer? Based on the share price of the IPO. That's how we can define warrants. Warrants is basically right to give share in future. Currently we don't have. Maybe in future we'll give. है ना? Done. So in this case the correct answer is C. Hanji. The answer is C, everyone. These are interesting questions, but SPAC was a particular topic which was asked so much in the examination that even I was astonished. Ki hardly a 10-page chapter. If you open up your Macmillan book, now this is hardly, barely total 10-page chapter. Done? Okay, now let's move on. Here comes the next question. What is the significant disadvantage of investing in SPAC IPO compared to traditional IPO? Actually, traditional IPO matlab you gave money to an organization, the organization is going good, you get money, you are happy, they are happy, है ना? But what about an organization which is not even interested in operating? It has only one base. It wants to cover this target company bus. That's it. It is not having any commercial operations or anything. So the problem is lack of regulatory oversight, uncertain future performance, limited disclosure of investment use, or potential for high returns. In this case, the correct answer is limited disclosure of the investment use. Okay, in this case na there is an exposure of course, but na you don't know what exactly is happening with your money, who's taking it, what's happening, because later on it comes to know कि oh this money was used in that acquiring of another firm. वैसे तो when this SPAC liquidates na the main firm gets a lot, so the main firm is able to eliminate one of its major competitors, or you can say they can have a rugged expansion, they can do all that, right? How do SPAC sponsor benefit from an earnout component? मतलब what do they do? SPAC sponsors is basically the person who's actually sponsoring and telling SPAC go buy that organization. Benefit from the earnout, whatever money they are making, they receive additional warrants. They are entitled to percentage of profits. They gain more shares if the stock price meets the specified target, or they receive preferential treatment during mergers. The truth is they gain more shares if the stock price meets the specified targets. They already have share of the company already, everyone, because they are the sponsors. They decided कि अच्छा I will sponsor this company so that they can buy the organization, है ना? Done. Okay, here comes the next question, everyone. What is the primary selling point of SPAC when seeking financial backing from investors? Reputation of the management team, potential profitability of the target company, history and revenue of the company, regulatory compliance of the company. What is the primary selling point of SPAC, everyone? Primary selling point matlab the first and most important selling point when seeking financial backing. They are looking forward towards people giving them money. Please give us money. We're looking forward to something. Now the point is, these organizations, if they tell in the very beginning, pata hai, I want to buy the other organization, that sounds so weird. Why would someone give them money? है ना? Then now the correct answer in this case is reputation of the management team. The primary reason that you want people to join your organization is this. Done. Can you see the answer? In this case, what are we dealing with? In this case, the strongest part that I can see is that in an organization, you have to sell yourself. When you're getting an IPO, you have to show that, Array, I'm a big organization, you give us money. And then this money can be used anywhere. That is your choice. There's nothing wrong in that. You know? Okay. Next point. What type of financing does the SPAC typically organize to fund a portion of the purchase price of the business combination? Acha, we're looking forward towards a business combination in venture capital investment, debt or equity, then general government grants or the crowdfunding. See, in our country, the crowdfunding is definitely not there, to be very honest. In India, crowdfunding doesn't exist. Government grants, why would government grant you to help you to kill another organization? The answer is debt or equity financing. In India, we have Competition Act as well. When you try to merge the bigger organizations so that they can rule the market, that particular thing sounds good, but that doesn't really have a good impact. So everyone, the correct answer is B. Acha, one more question. What is the purpose of forward purchase contract in context of SPAC? To establish an SPAC charter and the registration rights, the outline of to outline the terms of IPO agreement, to commit affiliates or institutional investors to purchase equity needed for the DSPAC transaction, or the to specify the parameters of the warrant agreement. What is the purpose of forward purchase agreement? Matlab, we are not purchasing right now, but we'll be purchasing later on, right? So in this case, what are we doing to do? This is basically to commit affiliates or institutional investors to purchase equity needed for TSPAC. The answer is C, everyone. Before I end my session, everyone, there is a good news. If you have reviewed our portal yet, then you should look into the specific area and let's go to our website. This is our website, that is www.adda247.com. Go on to the area of JIB and CIB. Go on to the area of CIIB. Then go on to the area of Mahapack. At this point of time, the best area is Mahapack because double validity is going on. You buy it for 6 months, you get it for 12. Okay. So this is, click on the area of buy now. You have got it for 12 months, everyone. Under Mahapack, you get bilingual English medium revision classes. All the 5 optional included. Matlab, whatever you want to choose, if you haven't chosen, then you can start with all of those, the beginning 2-3 classes, and you can choose which is the best one. So you are getting such a great opportunity, and that too at a very nominal price. Use the code Y541, everyone. As soon as you apply the code Y541, you can see the discount is of 79%. If you are downloading the app, it becomes 80%, and you will get for 6823.95, right? the amount is very decent, up to 500 something rupees per month. You'll get a particular, this is a very small amount. If I talk about Netflix costs more than this if you're going for 4 screen. So this is a perfect time. Go ahead and check it out on our website or in our app and hurry up, enroll in our CIIB right away, everyone, as you still have time, ample of time to prepare properly. Otherwise, as the time passes, each and every subject is very expensive and requires a lot of time and efforts. So please be open to that particular scenario that you will have to sit down and study properly. So start your studies as early as possible so that you don't face trouble in future. Right? Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. We'll be meeting tomorrow.